We're gonna start with dropping stuff on the floor. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle. This is the Midwest Stitches YouTube channel, and we talk about crocheting, knitting, sewing, and my small shop where I make project bags and a few other accessories for my fellow yarn people. Today we have a few FOs to talk about. We have quite a few whips to talk about, and some future cast ons, just a tiny bit of mail, nothing crazy, and if you stay till the end of the video, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of the fabrics that I'm going to use for my fall collection that I'm going to start. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be at the end. So for now, grab a beverage. I've got some coffee, and let's catch up. So today is July 31st. If you see me looking over here, I've got my notes. Today is July 31st, 2022. This is episode 14. Oh man, that's kind of crazy. You can find me on Instagram at midwest.stitches or on my website at midweststitches.com. Make sure when you're over there, I just want to mention this real quick. If you haven't already, go over to my website, and at the bottom of the page, there is a newsletter sign up. I did send out a newsletter, finally, from my new web platform last week. I'm going to be using that more frequently now to update you guys on shop updates, things like that. Or I had some one-of-a-kind bags that I put out there for sale. So you guys, being a newsletter subscriber, you will get basically first dibs on everything that comes into the shop as a reward for signing up. Let's start with finished objects. Feel a little rusty. It's been 2 weeks, so bear with me. Okay, so finished objects, we're gonna start with dropping stuff on the floor. All right, so I actually had to watch clips from my previous episode to remember what I was working on, what was a work in progress and what wasn't, you know, all that crazy stuff. So I finished my Crazy Sock Lady socks from Kimber's Cozy Creations. Love these so much. I love this colorway. It is so beautiful. I actually posted about it on Instagram, of course, and Kimber's Cozy Creations, she commented on it. We were kind of back and forth, and I said it would make a beautiful sweater, and so I might have to see if I can get a sweater's quantity of this from the Crazy Sock Lady. I would probably do the fingering weight version, but still, I mean, can you imagine this in a sweater? Oh, it'd be so beautiful. So those are done. Love them. I can't wait until it's colder outside to wear them. Super excited for that. Galadium. Okay, my second finished object. Actually, I think the last episode I showed at the very end, because I forgot it was a whip. It was barely even done. Now I have the pair done. I have a pair of Journey socks. So this was the one I was working on, and I had just like done a little bit of the heel flap. I hadn't, and this worked up in like a day. These are so quick. And this is with, oh, I don't have the tag. This is a Regia cotton blend yarn. I think it's cotton, polyamide, and polyester. And it's a sock weight yarn, but I don't know that it's that great for socks because I feel like it doesn't have enough hold. I don't know if that's the right word. Like there's not enough, you know, like the nylon has elasticity, so it bounces back, it hugs, you know, hugs whatever. So I don't know, but this was just kind of like, I wanted to try out the pattern and see, so it's whatever. I'm on the fence about how I like the fit. It feels weird because this is so low on the back of your heel that I feel like it'll fall down. it hasn't, but I'm trying, spoiler alert, I'm trying another pair with an actual 75-25 sock yarn so that I can see if it holds up on my foot better. And it may be the yarn. So, but for the first one, I did her toe, which is just a wedge toe in the pattern. And I followed the pattern exactly for this. And the second one, I made some modifications. So I'll talk about those real quick. So I obviously did the heel flap longer, and I did this garter stitch longer. I did a few more rows. And then I basically calculated from a sock I'd already done with the rounded toe versus her toe. I figured out the difference in inches or whatever, so that they would be the same, started at the same point. And so I did the rounded toe on this one. And the heel turn was a little different. There was a couple differences on this. The main reason I did a longer heel flap is because the way she has you knit it in the pattern, instead of a slip one, knit one, you do a knit one, slip one, so that you get the garter bumps on the heel flap edge, and you pick up that way. She's got a tutorial on the Heidi and Lana YouTube page. So I just thought, well, why don't I do my 32 stitch, you know, heel flap and see how that is. And again, it's the same with this one where it's on my foot just fine, but I don't know if it's the cotton nylon polyester blend that it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't stay up very well. So I'm trying another one to see, you know, how the pattern is. And I'm making some slight modifications. I bought her, so she has two of these patterns, Heidi and Lana. She has the Journey sock, which is just this pattern, and then she has a trail. It's called the Trail socks that she released, and it's a 2-color sock. You use 2 different colors, but I mainly bought it for the in the description it has a little heel tab here at the top in the middle. So I thought maybe if I did that on this new pair that I'm making instead of such a wider garter stitch panel, that's what I'm trying to say. If it just had a little heel tab on it, that maybe it would stay up better. And the weird part is my counts were exactly the same on this sock, with the exception of the longer heel flap, but I had the same number of stitches around. And as you can see, it turned out just a hair longer. So, yeah, I'm just experimenting because I do like the concept of this sock pattern, because I do like short socks as opposed to longer socks. That's just kind of what I like. And I did find another pattern. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. It's another Shorty sock pattern. Let's see, where is that? I have all my patterns on my iPad. Okay, so these are called, I got this off of Ravelry as well. It is a paid for pattern, so I won't show too much, but I can show what the sock looks like. So this is called the Perfect No-Show Socks, and the pattern is by Christina Lively. And it's kind of it's a similar construction to the Journey sock, in that it's a no-show. I'll show this picture. So it's, you know, kind of the same like short down in your shoe sock, but instead of the Journey sock, because you start it flat and then you join in the round, and that's all I'll say about that, because I don't want to, you know, it's her pattern, she created it. But this one, you start with an I-cord loop, and then you join the I-cord, you do an I-cord, you join it together, and then it gives you instructions on how to do the heel flap and the gusset and all that kind of stuff. And here's an example on the last page of the pattern. I can show you this because there's no instructions, but she has a bunch of different samples that people knit up for the pattern. So like a lot of people did like a different toe and the I-cord. They did those in the same color, which I think that's kind of cool. And I read some of the people that their Ravelry pages on this pattern, and I've never done an I-cord before, but a lot of those people, they said that because the pattern instructs you to do the I-cord in the same size needle that you do the sock in. So the complaints people had was the I-cord was too tight and they couldn't get it around their foot. Like I said, I've never done an I-cord before, so I don't know if you have before. Maybe on like the cuff of the sleeve, or you know, here. That'd be kind of a neat, sorry, side note, to finish off the cuff of your sleeve with an I-cord border. I saw an I-cord sleeve border on Stitching the High Notes YouTube page. She's working on a t-shirt right now. Anyway, yeah, if you've ever done the I-cord for a garment, let me know if you've had to go up a needle size, because I know I'm a looser knitter, so maybe I would be okay with using the same size, but I don't know the feel or the construction of the I-cord. Is it a tight, the gauge on it is typically tight because of the way it's knit, you know, I don't know. So let me know if you've done that and give me some suggestions on that, because I would really like to try those socks in addition to the other socks I'm doing for the Journey ones, just to kind of compare and contrast the pattern to see, you know, which is easier, which do I like the fit of better. So anyway, that's enough about the Journey socks. So my third finished object is actually, I had finished one of these last week. I had showed you this one, but I finished the pair. And I showed these on Instagram, and oh my gosh. I think this is like the most liked picture I've ever shown on Instagram. It was crazy. And comments. People were leaving me comments like crazy that they thought these were so neat and cool. And one person, I can't remember who it was, but they commented that, I think it was Ashley from Sidelines and Skeins, but she said that these look like those retro workout socks, and they totally do, from like the 80s. The retro tube socks or whatever that people used to wear. But yes, I thought these turned out so good. I love these scrappy stripy socks. And it was funny because I was trying to finish this one up, and I've got to stop doing this. So the leg went fine. You can see my ladder there. The leg went fine. And then I get to the heel, no big deal. And then I start in with the gusset, and I'm just like, okay, I really want to finish this pair. I'm just done with it. I just want to be done with it. And as you can see, my tension just, mostly back here is like super loose, and I've done this before, and I've got to stop doing it. It's like, don't rush the process, because, then my tension is all over the place, and yeah, so. And it's funny because, so this is actually, if you recall, this is actually the second pair I've done with this set of yarn. So this was a mini set from Daisy Stitch Co. Fibers from last year, her Independence Day mini set, and it came with the red, blue, and the speckled, and I added the white from another one. I talked about that last time, and I have enough left over for the third pair. Can you even believe that? So it was 3 20-gram minis, so that's what, 60 grams? Yeah. So I had 180, is that right? 180 grams? Something like that. So almost basically two full skeins of sock yarn. And I'm on the third pair. And I know I'll have leftovers after this one, because this brings us to whips. Here we go. It's still in this cute bag that I love. I'm doing another Journey sock. So this is the one I talked about. So I'm not quite at the stage yet where I join in the round. I started this yesterday. And let me tell you, once you get past if you haven't tried it yet, the first half of the pattern, which I consider the first half this until you join in the round. I consider the part where you join in the round the second half. Once you get past the first half, the rest of it just flies. Like if I had started this earlier in the day yesterday, I could have had this done in a day. It is so quick to knit these. And I love it. So I did make a few modifications on this. This is the tab that I was talking about from the trail pattern. So the trail pattern has instructions on how to do this. So I wanted to incorporate all 4 colors. So I'm doing the white here at the top, and then obviously the speckled for the heel. And this time for the heel, instead of 32 rows for the heel flap, I did 30. And then did her heel turn. So my counts were still the same. The only, because she has an odd number on this pattern for a cross when you cast on, or when you increase and cast on, because you cast on and then you increase, blah, blah, blah. At the very edge, because it was not an even number, I just did 2 knits. So on this one, I was able to pick up 15 stitches, and then 2 here at the top, and then same on this side. So for my increasing that I'm doing, or that I will be doing, I'm getting to that step. I'm doing 4 less than the pattern calls for. So part of my issue with these other ones is I feel like they didn't stay up enough. So I'm just gonna try 4 less. So basically it'll be a 60 stitch count at the end to see if that hugs my foot a little tighter. And I was thinking that once I join in the round, and I'll show you on this one, once I join in the round and I'm here at this part, that for the foot, the top of the foot, maybe I would do a 3x1 rib, and that would make it hold up even more. So I'm gonna try those modifications. And for the toe, instead of calculating the rounded toe to substitute for her wedge toe, I am going to just start the toe when she says to in the pattern, but do the rounded toe. And basically the difference between the rounded toe and her toe, at least for me, is a 1/4 inch difference. So I feel like that 1/4 inch will really bring it in and give me some negative ease. So I will report back next time on those modifications and how they fit. So there you go. Can you even? This is so exciting. I mean, these are not all the finished objects but you know, because this one pair down here I had already done. My next work in progress, I posted about on Instagram once, I think, in stories, but this kind of goes into mail a little bit because it's a work in progress, but it's from mail I got. I'm actually holding it in my summer sock camp bag. Believe it or not, this is the first time I've used it this summer. I had yarn in it that I just didn't start with and hadn't used it yet. And I love this. So this is from Dragon Horde Yarns. It's called Running Up That Hill. If you watch Stranger Things, or like the rest of us, been obsessed with the song since the newest season came out, you will understand. And look at this, look how beautiful. His colors are just amazing. Like, they just go with that episode and the season so well. So I started this, and the Crazy Sock Lady and I were gonna knit it together because she got the same one. If you watch her episode, and I ran out and bought it like right away because I'm like, I'd been looking for a Stranger Things themed yarn. And so I bought it and I got it in the mail, and when I did, I messaged her and said, hey, we should knit these together. And she's like, yeah. So anyway, I started mine and I was doing toe up. So this is as far as I got. I got the toe done in like 10, 11 rounds into the toe, or into the foot. But these are on pause just for a moment. Well, 2 reasons. Number 1, I want to finish that journey sock to see how it fits, because if it fits like I want it to, then I will frog these and turn it into journey socks, because with this, obviously I can get 2 pairs of journey socks. And a friend of mine, my best friend, she commented on my picture and said she loved that color. And that's like the only time she's ever commented on anything like a colorway and said, oh, I love that. So I thought I would knit her a pair of journey socks too. So if they fit me, because she basically has the same size foot as I do, if those journey socks, these fit me properly, then I will use those modifications that I made and make journey socks out of this running up that hill. And like I said, if this journey sock, if it fits me how I want it to with the modifications that I'm making, you will be seeing a lot more of them, because I like them for 2 reasons. They knit up crazy fast. I love that. I can finish a sock in a day, basically. If I start it like in the morning, basically by the time, you know, I go to bed, I can have it done. And that's not even working on it the entire day. And 2, I love the fit. I love the concept of the no-show sock. So, and then you basically I'd have half a skein of sock yarn left to put in a blanket or make another pair of socks or something. So anyway, anywho, moving on. Let's see, what is this? My 3rd whip. Oh, so I have this in my Scrappy Grinch bag. If you like this, there are still a few in my shop for sale. Oh, and I'll talk about that later during shop news. So I started these 2 at a time. I think I talked about this, that I wanted to do these 2 at a time. So I did start them. And this, I got the toes done and put them on the needles. So here they are. And look at the yarn. Oh my gosh, and it's up. I can't wait to see a full sock in this. So this is Daisy Stitch Co. And I actually found the tag. I didn't have it last time. Yeah, this is Daisy Stitch Co. fibers. And I got this last year, and it's Boughs of Holly. So there we go. Look how pretty. Yes, I love it. So I haven't worked on these for the same reason, or at least one of the same reasons, as the running up that hill. I kind of think these would be cute journey socks. But at the same time, if I don't make them into journey socks, I'm going to just knit them up regular with maybe like a 20 round cuff and like a 30 round leg or something like that. Cuff down. I know I said in the last video or the video before that I was just dying to do toe up, but it's like, I don't know. I go back and forth like, oh, I really want to do a toe up sock. And then I start it and I'm like, they just kind of linger. And I don't really know why. I don't know if it's because I've gotten so used to cuff down construction that doing toe up just kind of feels longer, harder, or, you know, just more difficult. I don't know. It's not, but anywho, that's where we're at. So those you may not see for at least a little bit. Those are supposed to be my Christmas and July socks, by the way, and I epically failed at that. But I will get them done. I will knit them because the yarn is so beautiful. So anyway, the next one I want to talk about, just briefly, just show you my progress on, is my Hocus Pocus shawl, which right now I have it in here, and I love this bag. But when I posted on Instagram this morning for Scrappy Sunday that I was working on this, and then I got to thinking, you're working on a Hocus Pocus shawl, and you have Hocus Pocus bags. Why do I not have this in a Hocus Pocus bag? Make it make sense, Danielle. So anyway, I can show you my progress and move my marker. So there's not a lot, I don't think, since the last time I showed it. Oh, there might be a bit. So here it is. And I've done, oh yeah, I've done like an inch, maybe. there's my witch's boot marker. I've done maybe an inch since the last time I showed this. So not very far, but I'm going to make a more concerted effort to pick this up more because I want to get it done, and yeah. So that's where we're at with that. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Oh, and that yarn, the Hocus Pocus yarn, it's a trio of 3 100-gram skeins from Lofty Loops Yarn. She did post today that she will have more of that in the coming months. So follow her on Instagram. I think she has a newsletter too. If you like those colors that I've showed for the Hocus Pocus yarn, you can buy one of them or you can buy all 3 as a set like I did. So yeah, so look for that if you want those yarns. So my next one I want to talk about, there are lots of things to say about this. So this is my little sprout, the coral one I was working on. So, oh gosh, we're in a bit of a, okay. So here's how far I got. This is the front. It doesn't, yeah. So here's the front. This is how far I got. Here on the side. I don't know how many inches that is, but I got that far and then I tried it on and it's too big. And I think it's because the gauge is looser. So here's my problem with the pattern. I've never done a garment before, so I think this was just, you know, me not knowing anything or really looking it up. So in the pattern, she asks you to use 2 different needle sizes. And for this part, the ribbing around the collar, you're supposed to use a smaller needle size, and then for the body, you use the bigger one, which is what I did. I switched. And I think if I had not switched, it would have been fine. But I got gauge when I did my gauge swatch, because she said do a gauge swatch, but she did not specify with the smaller needle size or the larger needle size. I looked at another pattern, I think it was the Flax Light, or no, the Flax that I want to do in the Flax Light, and she does specify to get gauge with the bigger needle. And I wish I'd looked at that first, because then I would have known, oh, she meant the bigger needle. Because I definitely did not get gauge with the bigger needle, I can tell you that right now, because I barely got gauge with the smaller needles that I picked. So that's why it's turning out way too big. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this project. I don't really want to finish it because it's too big. And yeah, I don't know. So I think I might frog it, wrap the yarn back up, and maybe find a crochet project like I originally intended the yarn for. But this did teach me a lot of valuable lessons, you know, how to read the pattern, the gauge swatch, the instructions. So it was a good learning experience to do this. So now I feel more comfortable with garment patterns, easy garment patterns. Like, you know, I'm not really looking to do like color work or cables or anything overly complicated. Just like, you know, simple raglan style sweaters is what I'm going to gravitate towards. That's the style that I like the tin can and the Flax and the Flax Light by Tin Can Knits. So that's what you might see a little bit of here in the future. For winter, I want to try to knit a sweater this winter. The flax, it's a worsted weight, and in that Lion brand yarn I showed last time. So if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen a little bit of progress on this when I cast it on. Oh, it's so beautiful. I cannot wait to show it. You should recognize the yarn I showed it. This is the Yarn Bee, what is this called? Oh my gosh. Yarn Bee Fresh Haven in red clay. So I started another little sprout. Here it is. Look how cute that is. And I have not tried this on since I joined in the round, but I think it's going to fit just how I want it to. So I did a couple things different. I picked the size that she recommends, which is 2 inches of negative ease. However, when I got to, because you do the front panel first, you do the front panel, then you do the back, and then you join the round. Before I join in the round, on each panel, I just added 2 more rows. And I did that because my gauge swatch, when I dried and blocked it, drying it was still 1 stitch larger in row gauge, or no, stitch gauge than the pattern called for. And the row gauge was still, I think it was like half an inch it shrunk like half an inch. So I know when I finish this off that I'll add a little bit of extra length just to account for that half inch of shrinking. So I added the 2 extra rows to account for my gauge being just slightly smaller by a stitch. So I hope that will negate any fit issues. Like I said, this is my first garment, so I don't know. But yes, I'm on the second ball, and I really have to, I'm gonna have to bust my buns. I don't know how, so this is a Christie Archer Designs pattern. I didn't say that. She says she can get one of these done in like 2 days. I've been working on this, I think, for a week and a half. Kind of on and off, not every day. But I've been trying to pick it up and do a couple rows. Like the front panel and the back panel before you join in the round, I can knit those in like 2 days, like 1 day each. So I think once I get this one done and I can measure like how many rows I did to the length that I want it, it'll go faster, but it's like the not knowing how long it needs to be. And I haven't tried it on yet to see where we're at. I think I'm gonna knit a couple more inches before I do try it on to see how much longer it needs to be. But I don't know how she knits it in 2 days. Anyway, where I was going with that is I'm going to a concert on Friday with my friends for my friend's birthday. And I really want to wear this with some khaki shorts I have. I think it'll look really cute. And it'll be hot as Hades outside here. It's supposed to be like 97. And at nighttime, that means it's going to be like 90. It's still going to be blazing hot. So I want to wear this because I think it'll look super cute. And it'd be like, I'm wearing something completely unique to the concert that I made. So anyway, I'm housing this in a bag I made like when I very first started making project bags and sewing again. But yeah, this was just some cotton canvas I think I had or something like that. It's just some random fabrics, nothing crazy. It's got these 2 different prints, like Southwest Aztec kind of prints. And then I actually saved, this is ribbon I saved from a fat quarter bundle. I have another one over there, but I saved the ribbons off of fat quarter bundles or things like that because you can use them as drawstrings. So anywho, there's that. So that's all my whips for right now. So for future cast-ons, I have 3 things that I'm looking to cast on once I get the shirt done and the journey socks done. Because that will leave me with, you know, a couple pairs of socks that I will hopefully be able to turn into journey socks, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I want to make, I have to do the second, I'll have 1 second sock left. The mint cookie sock set from Zebra Yarns that I showed. I need to do the second one of that, which I'm hoping to do this month before summer sock camp ends, because I've actually done 4 pairs now. And if I finish this 3rd pair of the 4th of July, that will be 5 pairs. And then once I do finish the mint cookie one, that'll be my 6th pair for summer sock camp, which is crazy because last year I didn't even finish 1 pair. I finished 2 individual socks the whole summer because I was sewing like crazy and, you know, still kind of figuring out what I like. But yeah, so 6 pairs, maybe more, who knows by the time the end of the month rolls around. But I want to do that. And then my Rosie and Blackjack yarn from Granite State Yarns. I have plans, 2 different plans for that. One, I'm going to use half of the skein to make a pair of fingerless mitts for myself because I love that color, with my black leftovers from Breaking Yarn. And then 2, I want to make a pair of socks with what's left from those. So that I want to start those because I want to be able to have those for when the weather starts to get colder, and I love the color. And Lauren, I am thinking if you do it, I don't know if you take custom orders, but I'm thinking I need a Rosie and Blackjack sweater. Like, can you just envision that? Like the collar black, the cuffs on the sleeves black, and then the ribbing at the bottom, and then the body is the Rosie and Blackjack color. Oh my gosh. And actually I would just do like, not the whole collar. I think I would do like pops, like the first 3 rounds, the last 3, you know, just to kind of give it like a little pop of color. I want to do that so bad. So Lauren, if you let people do custom orders for sweaters, quantities worth of yarn, I was about to say sweaters, let me know, because I totally want to do that. I think it would be an amazing knit for the Flax Light. And if you have never seen the Flax Light, it's just a raglan sweater, and then there's a garter panel down the sleeve, which I think I would keep because I'm actually becoming really comfortable with purling and not having loosey-goosey stitches. So summer sock camp has been good. And my third one, which I wanted y'all's opinion on. So Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady, she did the Advent wallop cowl with one of her Advents from last year, and I loved the look of that because you could wrap it 3 times and it's like really warm, and it was a way to use up minis from an Advent calendar. Well, I don't have an Advent calendar, but I do have some mini skein sets that are all Christmas themed. So I got these year before last from Pumpkins and Wool. I mean, look at that. I can see that as a big long cowl. I think that would look really pretty. What do you guys think? So this set is Nightmare Before Christmas. So that's Nightmare Before Christmas. This is Traditional Christmas. And then this one is Gingerbread Cookie. So my thoughts were, each set has kind of a cream or a white, and I would put that basically in between the colors. So like I would do like one bundle, move on to the next, but in between each, like I would do these 2, say, do the cream, and then these 2, the cream, these 2. So, and I would just try to make sure when I was moving on to the next bunch of colors that no 2 like colors would be knit next to each other. So anyway, what do you think? I think that would make a pretty wallop cowl. So let me know what you guys think about that, because I definitely want to cast that on once my tank top is done. I want to cast this on because I would like to use these up, and I think that would be a cute way to use them besides socks. And this is actually way more than if you have 24 10-gram minis, I think, for the pattern. This is like 300, I think. So it would be a lot longer than the 1K did, but that's okay. So there's that. All right, I have a little bit of mail to talk about, just a couple things. So I got this bag from the Summer Sock Camp update because I wasn't able to grab one the first time around. This is from Mountain State Stitches. This is the s'mores bag. I'm so happy I got one. I love this thing. It's so cute. And there's the inside. This brown polka dot. Love that. Drawstring, of course. And I actually, I'll talk about this really quick. It's kind of shop update news, but when I got this, because I don't have any of her bags, I was like, it feels like she has quilt bedding in the bag. It's just a little bit thicker and a tiny bit stiffer than the kind that I use, that I make mine with. And I really liked it. I really liked the feel of it. So I messaged her and we were just kind of chatting back and forth, and it's fusible fleece, and they actually had that on sale. And basically from a business perspective, economic perspective, I can get more bang for my buck out of a yard of that versus a yard of what I was using before. So my bags from now until I run out of the stuff will have fusible fleece. So they'll be a little bit thicker, but not too much, but they have just a little bit more structure. So that's that. Love that. Love, love, love it. And then the other things I got, I only got 2 things of yarn. I got these a couple weeks ago from Area 51 Fibers. These are actually 2 50-gram skeins. So she does these out of what's left over. So she doesn't waste any of her yarn. She dyes them up either into 50-gram skeins from what she has left, or minis. She uses everything up. And so when she sells them, she might have some 50-gram skeins, some 100-gram skeins. So I got the 50s. This is the Taylor colorway. Taylor Dosey from Gilmore Girls. And then this is another Gilmore Girls. This is her Weston's Bakery colorway. So, well, again, 50 grams would get me a pair of Journey socks with about 10 grams left, which would be perfect for scraps for a scrappy blanket. So pray for me that pattern modifications work out. Okay. So if you made it to the end of this video, your reward is a sneak peek at the fabrics I'm going to use for my fall collection. I'm so excited. I actually fully took the month of July off, which honestly this last week and half of the week before that, it was kind of hard because I was like, I'm itching to get back into sewing and it feels like I'm being lazy and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to get back into it. I think the collections, the couple bags that I'm going to make are going to look so cute for fall. I'm so excited. And speaking of that, I did a poll on Instagram trying to gauge people's interest for like what size they like, what type. And the majority of people that answered, they like medium and large zipper bags over drawstring or snaps. And for the small size, it was almost a tie between snap and zipper. So, and I know there's people that like everything. So I think going forward, I'm making less bags per collection just because, you know, I went a little overboard last year with the amount I was making, so I still have a ton left. So I'm trying to temper it back, you know. I'm still building my audience. So that being said, I am going to make a few, I think, of each size. So like, I'll probably make less large bags. So like maybe 2 of the zipper and the drawstring, make a couple medium in each snap, drawstring, and zipper, and the same for the small, depending on how it goes with the fabric that I have picked. So that's kind of going to be my way forward. So, are you ready for these combinations? Oh my gosh, I cannot even tell you how excited I am to sew these up. So I'm going to have 3 different like fall, or I'm sorry, 3 different fall, if you will, colored collections, and then 1 Halloween. So the 2 prints, like the main prints for the first set, these are going to have the same fabrics on the inside. How cute. Okay, so here's the first one. I mean, look at that. You've got all the fall things. Donuts and pies and trucks and just, everything. There's a sweater on there. I cannot wait to sew this up. So there's that one. And then here's this one. I was drawn to this because it's just very simple. It has a slight, I don't know if it's, it doesn't really look like it's picking it up. It has a slight kind of beigey pink orange kind of hue on the background, but it's just like almost like penciled, you know, drawn pumpkins. So I thought this would be nice for someone who maybe didn't want something as colorful. And then you could technically use it all year long. Anyway, so I am pairing these prints. This will be the bottom or the drawstring channel, depending on, because my zipper and snap bags will have this on the bottom, and then the drawstring will have this in for the for the drawstring channel as well. I can't hold it up. I think this is gonna look so cute together. I know it might look a little busy at the moment, but here's the, it's like a plaid with, you know, it's just kind of a muted plaid, but I think this will look so cute together. And then this with this, oh my gosh. And the inside, I love the inside fabric just as much, is going to be this. So you have these, like this one, this like kind of burnt orange with these little they call them geometric shapes. They're just like little plus signs. But that, I cannot wait. I'm so excited for that. And then the other one, the other fall themed one, is for my floral lovers out there. If you love a floral bag, I saw this and I'm like, that's so like fall floral, which sounds kind of like an oxymoron because floral is usually a spring thing, but look at this. How pretty is that? So there's kind of, you know, it's got the yellow and the orange, and so I'm calling this fall floral, obviously. So that will be paired with just a light gray for the bottom and the drawstring channel. And then this will be the inside. So it's just a light gray, and then these little plus signs are like a brown. So I thought that would go really well on the inside, just something different for the inside, the interior fabric. So those will be the 3 available. And the 2 prints, the pumpkin and the fall farmhouse, which is what I'm calling it, those will be very limited, unless for some reason they're crazy popular, they sell out, and a bunch of people ask me if I can make more or whatever, then I would make more. But I'm trying to really, like I said, temper that and just make a few for each collection, you know, while we're still growing, and, you know, make sure I'm not overloading my inventory space, which is here. Okay, and the last one will be a Halloween one. I actually bought this last year at a local fabric store, and I just thought it was so cute and different. So hopefully people will like this. It's a different kind of Halloween bag, but I actually really like it. I think it's cute. So here we go. Isn't that cute? So if you look, it looks like it's stitched. It looks like they're stitched on with thread, but it's just a print. So it's got scarecrows and pumpkins and ghosts. It's got all the Halloween things, but it's just orange and black. So very simple in color. And this won't have a contrast bottom, or the drawstring channel might be contrast, but that'd be about it. And this is going to be the interior. This cute orange stripes. So I got both of those from a local fabric shop, a small mom and pop one. So there will be the fall collection. Get excited, everybody. I'm going to start sewing and cutting those this month. Hopefully, my goal is to have the fall ones released beginning of September, and maybe the Halloween ones too. We'll see how the sewing goes. Like I said, I'm going to try and make a few in each size and each type, and see how that goes. So Let me know your thoughts on that down below. What do you think about that? And just real quick, so for my winter / Christmas collection, I'm only doing one print. And for those people that watched Vlogmas, you will have seen the fabric. So if you want to, you have to go watch Vlogmas to find that video that it's in, that I got from Spoonflower. So if you were a watcher and you remember that, that will be the only fabric I use for Christmas / winter collection. And today, when I bought some of this other fabric, I found the contrast fabric for the bottom and the drawstring channels and the interior fabric. And let me tell you, I am so excited to sew that up. It is going to be so stinking cute. So with that being said, I was contemplating making up 3 samples, a snap, a zipper, and a drawstring. Probably just in small because, you know, you get the idea. But I was thinking of maybe doing a pre-order for those and putting that out around October, beginning of October, and have those out in the mail by Thanksgiving. Just because I have so much fabric for the print fabric that it might be nice to take a pre-order and see what sizes I need to cut, as opposed to making sizes and then some of them selling, some of them not, maybe, you know, and just in making what people are ordering. So I was toying of doing a pre-order for that, leaving that pre-order up for, I don't know, a couple weeks or something, and then closing it and get making on the bags. So that pre-order may come out October 1st or before then. I will obviously let you guys know. Let me know what you think about that. Do you like that idea? I know yarn dyers do pre-orders all the time, but at least just for this one, I think I might need to do a pre-order because I don't know how many to make and of what for that. I mean, and it's just one print. So that does make it a little easier than a couple different prints to do a pre-order for. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on that below. Your thoughts on, should I do the wallop cowl out of those minis? I think it would look so beautiful. And yeah, if you have any other comments or questions or anything, you know, you can always contact me on my website or my Instagram, or even leave a question here. Yeah, and I think that's it. Hopefully it won't be 2 weeks until I record again. But thanks for sticking around for this lengthy video, and yeah, I will see you guys next time. Have a great day. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter on my website, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.